Here in the UK, we have got plenty of amazing coasters. We've got some that do lots of spinning, do lots of nothing, and we've also got some that invert you 14 times. That's right, we've got a large range of different coasters here within the UK. Some of them are really popular, some of them are seen as not as popular, but I definitely think there are a lot that are overrated and underrated. So we're going to go through them. So I want to let you guys know this is my personal opinion. So if you guys do think anything different, make sure you let me know down below. If you like videos like this as well, please be sure to hit the subscribe button. It really helps support the channel and is all greatly appreciated. So starting off with the overrated rides, I know this one's going to be very unpopular. I really think the icon at Blackpool Pleasure Beach is just so overrated. It was so hyped up, it was just so overrated. I just didn't find anything with it. Don't get me wrong, it's a good layout, but it's not a thrill ride. The last bit of it's quite boring, quite meandering. Now let's go into a slightly positive side of it. We've got the underrated, and I personally think that Hero is underrated. Don't get me wrong, it's painful, but I actually quite enjoyed it. I've only ever had one ride on Hero, and I actually really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than what I thought I would. It wasn't that rough, it wasn't that painful. It's not a comfortable ride. You are strapped into a cage, but in terms of it, I think it's not as bad as what people say. I would happily go back on it again, and yeah, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't want to ride it all day, but I would definitely go back on it again. Back in with the overrated rides. This one, I've had one good ride on it, and if it was like this every ride, I would probably not put this on the overrated. Theming of it's great, I think it's a great overall experience, but the Wicker Man, something about it just doesn't. The first two drops in it are great. You have that boring, weird turnaround section that I'm not really a great fan of. I think that just sort of spoils the pacing in the last bits of the ride. They really spoil the pacing. The theming of it's great, the pre-show of it is absolutely amazing, but I just think the ride layout itself isn't the most thrilling. Back now on the underrated ride, we are going back to Blackpool Pleasure Beach and we are going on Revolution. This ride is one of my favourites at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Of course, it's got not much to it, it's very basic, it's just a loop. It's just a simple loop. But the launch you get from it, you just get flung down the drop. You can be at the front, back, middle, it doesn't matter. You're getting flung just as hard no matter where you sit. And as well, you launch backwards and do the exact same loop again. I think it's just a great ride. The launch in it has a lot of kick to it, and it's definitely an underrated ride. Going in now with the overrated, it has to be Nemesis Inferno. I don't think this ride's really hyped up that much, but I really don't enjoy it that much. It's 100% if you sit on the front row, it's enjoyable. Unless you get on the front two rows, I don't feel no forces on it. I know this is probably going to upset a lot of people because I know a lot of people really enjoy this ride, but I don't feel much forces with it. I think it's a great layout. The interlocking corkscrews are good, but I just don't feel it. I'm just not the biggest fan of it. Now going on with underrated, a ride that in the park it's in, it could do with more theming, yes, but just the ride layout itself is incredible. I really like it, and that of course is Cobra at Alton's Park. Now obviously you've got different rides there, like Storm Chaser, that's a really good ride, but personally one of my favourites is Cobra. Just the way it flings you around, it's at the back of the park, there's never any queue for it, and I just think it's just an awesome ride. You just get flung, and it's not like Rattlesnake where you get flung but it's painful. You get flung, but it's really enjoyable. You get so much ejector airtime, and it's just a great overall ride. Going back in now for the overrated, we're going to Chessington for Vampire. I get it. It's iconic. It's been there a very long time. But it doesn't change from the fact of how bad of a ride experience it is. It's painful, it's rough, you get jolted back and forth. There's only really one good bit to the ride, and that's the big drop into the little tunnel corner bit that you've got. And if that's the only one good bit of the ride, it's just not really worth being there anymore. They need to get rid of it, they need to put something new there, and it takes up such large space that I do really think they could bring something much better in there. Back in on the underrated, we're heading back over towards Alton Towers to go ride Rita. Now, I get it, it doesn't do that much of a layout, but I really enjoy it. Every time I've gone in it, I've found the hydraulic launch to be really punchy. You get lots of airtime over the big hills. It's short. Every hydraulic launch coaster in the UK, being Rita and Stealth, is short, but I do really enjoy it. I like going through the woods. I like that you are over like open plazas, so you can go over people at 60 miles an hour. It's really cool. And I hope it doesn't go nowhere. I don't see it going nowhere. I think Galactica will go before Rita, but yeah, I really do enjoy Rita. And for our final coaster now on the overrated, we're staying in Dark Forest and going over to 13. I really don't like 13. It's not fun. That hype that it built to the letdown it had, don't get me wrong, very long time ago, but it just still is just a one-trick pony. It's a vertical drop track, which is cool, don't get me wrong, but I just think that they could have done something more to the layout before they go into the drop track, maybe even extend the layout after. It's just a few dips and turns, it doesn't really do that much. It's go round. I mean, I've been on scary or wacky worms. Like there's so much better, there's so much more potential in the area that's there, and it was just a big flop. So, what do you guys think? Do you think that I've missed some stuff on this list? Make sure you let me know down below. If you guys did like this video, make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell to be notified of any upcoming videos. If there's anything on this list that you think isn't there that should be there, make sure you let me know down below. It'd be really interesting to see your guys' opinions. So, that's all from me now.